If you obey all the rules, you'll miss all the fun. These are the words of Katharine Hepburn. Rules set boundaries for what is acceptable or not. Whether you agree or disagree, at some point in time, we all have to follow the rules. My parents were not the most strict parents, but they weren't the most lax either. And like many of you, I had rules, boundaries, and expectations placed on me at a very young age. Now, me being the youngest of 3, I sometimes forgot that those rules applied to me. This is a story about when you clearly know better, but you choose not to do better. My family and I had just moved into a new home that my mother purchased post-divorce. This was a special purchase for her, as it was something that she did for her independence. She was so impressed with the features of the house and hoped that we would like them as well. To the left, when you entered through the front door, there was a massive mirrored wall. So from floor to ceiling, it was nothing but mirror to the left. And on the right-hand side, there was a living room that was empty because we were awaiting furniture delivery. So you have a mirrored wall, you have a living room, and you have a set of pocket doors. You have a kitchen, a dining room, and the hall that leads to that mirrored wall. So all of this created a circular pattern in the center of our home. We thought that the pocket doors were a cool feature because it's something that we didn't have before. As we adjusted to our new home and all the features, our excitement about the home quickly wore off. So to keep occupied, since we didn't have any friends yet, and we didn't have anything to do, we were battling boredom. My brother, who was a couple years older than me, decided that we should skate on the main floor of our home. We should have been outside or in the basement, but for some reason, we chose to skate on the main floor. My oldest brother, who was in charge, reminded us that my mother would be displeased by us skating on the main floor of our home, but we didn't care. And so as we continued doing what we wanted, our excitement grew and so did our speed. We continued to go around and around and around in a circle on our skates. I was in the lead, and as I bent the corner, all I can remember screaming is, "Oh my gosh, no," as I slid into the mirrored wall, shattering it. Glass went everywhere. I was so worried about my mom killing me, I didn't notice the cuts on my legs, nor did I care. My brothers helped me off the floor and cleaned up my leg to make sure that I wasn't going to bleed out. But they left me alone to clean up the glass. After I cleaned up the glass, I realized that I only had a few minutes before my mother made it home from work. I went into my room and tried to fake sleep in hopes of avoiding whatever punishment was going to come to me. It didn't work. My mother, as she entered the home, you could hear her high heels coming up the hall. She approached the mirror, and all she began doing was screaming. She went to my brother's room, and he quickly threw me under the bus. My mother approached my room, and I tried to fake sleep, but it did not work. She drugged me out of the bed and stood me up in front of the mirror and kept asking me, "Do you see what you did?" Of course I saw what I had done. But not only did I disappoint my mother, she was also enraged. And as if disappointing her wasn't enough, I was handed what seemed like a life sentence. My mother put me on punishment for 3 months. And the next 3 months of my life were spent with no phone, no going outside, and most of the household chores were on me. And my brothers did their best to not make it easy on me either. I spent every gruesome day of my punishment replaying the scene of my brother and I having a good time, then of me fearing my mother's wrath after breaking the mirror. The sad part is I should have just listened to her voice in my head sooner, and I wouldn't be in the predicament that I was in. So the moral of the story is, if you follow the rules, you can't get in trouble for breaking them. Thank you.